So yes, this is more of a financial video, which I'm always curious, like if I should just start capping when it comes to these, so people would tune in just as much as they do to the sneaker unboxings and the reviews. And you know what? That's not me though. So yeah, we're gonna talk about index funds, very little surface, but I know some people may not just understand them. And then you may hear index funds and ETFs, and you wonder like the difference and the point. And personally, I'll just go ahead and tell you what I'm doing right now at the moment, and then what I intend to do in about a year once student debt is paid off. All right, so if you're unaware, an index fund is truly just a portfolio that tracks a certain market index, and it continues to perform the same as that actual market does. So if you've heard of the S&P 500, yes, there's an index fund that will track and perform just like the S&P 500. That allows you to essentially have that same growth just as that market does. Now, you don't just have to track the S&P 500. There are a number of other markets you can track, like anything you can think of. It essentially probably has an index fund and can be tracked. So it can be a market that tracks like high dividend yield stocks. It can also track real estate. It can track a number of things. Like there is actually one, it will track like pretty much like retailers within the US that just do tremendously well. And I've invested in that before because, hey, it has Nike and a few other brands within it that are really relative to my life. And that's another thing, like, if you want investing to be fun or for you to even care, make sure it's based on something you're actually interested in. So index funds, they're a great way for you to invest. And I know some people may hear like, oh, well, an ETF of an index fund, like what's the difference and what's the point? Well, an index fund can typically have a minimum buy-in for you to go and invest into the actual fund. And that's something very typically seen with Vanguard. Now, I invest through Vanguard. My 401k is already set up there through work. So it just made sense to set up my personal brokerage account there and also my Roth IRA account. So for the minimums, they can be anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000, which means you need that entire amount to put directly into those funds. And again, you may not have that at the moment. It's not that maybe you don't truly have it, but maybe you're divvying up that money towards other things. Like right now for myself, I'm taking care of a lot of little things simultaneously, and then a big thing is paying off student debt. So maybe I don't want to put in $1,000 to an actual fund right now all at once. So what's the alternative to that? Well, that's where an ETF comes in. And an ETF is really just a share of something. It's a share of the index fund that allows you to buy in incremental parts. Think of it like that. You buy a single share of the, stock of an actual company. So that's what an ETF is. It allows you to do the same. So let's say, for example, you're tracking the S&P 500. So you want to invest in the S&P 500 index, but maybe you don't want to throw in like $1,000 at once. Okay, well, can I just buy like a share of it? Yep, you can go ahead and buy in just an ETF, a single share, 2, 3, really just depends. And they all have individual prices, just like an individual stock will, right? You can look at the ticker symbol for, let's say, Nike, NKE, and you can see what they're selling at per share. You can also do that with an ETF just to let you know, and those prices will vary. Like, for example, you have some that are 99 to 100. So think about this. Every single time that you take an L on a sneaker, and I've said this before in videos, what if instead of just blowing it on something else, you took that and you actually invested that into something that can earn you compound interest? It's kind of a smart idea, right?
I surround my soul with the positivity. That's why I don't worry about the things that I don't see. Yeah. These days I don't worry about much. I think we should have some more fun. I still dream about the days when we were young. I'll take a hit and still finish and run.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl TJ back with another video. Talks with TJ, aka TJ2 Swoosh Change. Thank you guys again so much for tuning in to another video. If you're brand new, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I truly appreciate it. And Two Swoosh Crew, thank you guys again so much. And yeah, listen, last Friday, talk about a good Friday, an amazing Friday. Featured on Jordan Brand's Instagram feed for the styled look I did for the Jordan MA2 in the University Blue and Gold colorway. So still on cloud nine, really feeling that. I will go ahead and drop the link below. So yeah, my title is not cap whatsoever. Featured in their feed or on their Instagram feed. So really grateful for that. And also, I have another Jordan MA2 on the way. So Finish Line finally put up the women's white and gum bottom option. So ladies, if you're looking for that, go on Finish Line and pick it up. It's $125 with tax because there was no shipping. I paid $133.75. So very excited to have that in soon for you guys. But another way to think about this also, like, why would an index fund be better, or why do I opt for that versus like individual stocks? First off, I don't really sit there and try to play the market. Most of the time, you're not going to outlast or outperform the market long term. I'm not in this for like day trading. I'm not in this for a month. I'm not in this for a year. When I invest, I don't have any intention of looking at it, truth be told, for a very long time. As my net worth goes up and I choose to possibly have somebody else handle more equity investments, I guess, going into that, then fine. But it's not what I'm doing right now. Since I'm managing it myself, I'm in this for the long game, like 65, 70 when I'm pulling money out. That's why I don't sit here and look at my retirement every day. I don't look at my Roth IRA every day because there's no point. I'm looking at the compound interest I'll get long term. We're talking 20, we're talking 30 years. So we're not talking about immediately. I kind of look at that. Day trading is kind of like a fat diet, and those don't traditionally work for 90% of people. If it did, this country wouldn't be obese like it is. So I will play the long game, the tried and true. I'll let the market do what it does, and I'll invest in something that continues to have a good rate of return. And an index fund does that. Instead of me just having to invest in one company I may be interested in that does well in a certain market, I can invest in multiple companies all at once. And think about it also like a sponsor of today's video, SolePremise. So instead of me just taking one fire pair of kicks on a trip somewhere, instead I can actually use their signature patented 5-sneaker bag that holds up to 5 shoes. You can also put outfits, laptops, anything else in there. Zip it up, it's TSA approved, and you're good to go. And I see a lot of you traveling. A lot of you traveling right now. Be safe, have fun, make sure you have all of your kicks there with you to flex, flaunt, and use my code TALKSWITHTJ to save you 35% on any purchase you make. I would take advantage of that. Like, instead of just only investing in one thing, why not go into the actual whole market? Because as a whole, it probably performs better, possibly, than just that individual stock on its own. Now, I like ETFs right now. Again, a lot of my disposable income, it's going towards student debt right now. So it doesn't make sense for me to just go drop $1,000 or $3,000, the minimum, into a fund. However, once more money is freed up, I even actually had a chat. It was on a Zoom live hosted by James Whitner of the Whitaker Group, if you guys absolutely know who that is. And this guy has extensive knowledge and experience within the equity market. And my question was, hey, so as I'm nearing the end of paying off student debt, when I have more of that disposable income, right, like $1,000 to just throw around, would you recommend I just throw it all into, let's say, one single fund, or actually divvy it up? And let's say I want to buy ETF shares within like the dividend market index and real estate market index and just different things. And his recommendation was actually play around, diversify. I'm also young enough I can come back from a lot of different things, the ebbs and flows that go up. Oops, sorry about that. The ebbs and flows that go up and down. I am young enough to go ahead and kind of work through those. And again, always keep this in mind if you're playing in the market. If you don't take your money out, you don't really take a loss. It's a loss on paper. But hopefully that just gives you guys, gives you an idea of like, yes, an index fund is great. It gives you a multitude of companies that you're investing in that are within one particular market. And if you don't, or you choose not to throw tons of cash in there based on the minimum that fund may have, you have ETF shares at your disposal. So pick, I don't know, $100 to $400 a month, invest that in and let it do what it does and continue to go about your day. I'm just not one to watch the market like that. I have other things to do. So hopefully this video helps somebody out. Thank you again for tuning in. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace out.